You should have it always on.
Yeah.
That's why they make the police put their camcorders on them for they
Hello.
shoot.
What's that? Oh, it depends on which one.
The one that makes you require carrying the camera.
Well, none of them do that.
Alrighty.
I do it because I felt like it. Yeah.
You got one said life
What
matter.
is it? UBI mean?
Universal basic income.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I got that on the back of all of them. Oh, that's why it's there, you know, because people who don't know need to ask. That's how we learn, right?
What's your camera for though? Are you like? Not, I don't mean to like make it sound like that, but like what's your purpose and what?
No, that's fine. I have a YouTube channel. It's partly for that. Oh, thanks, no.
That's not my YouTube.
Appreciate it, but thanks, no. No, I'm just yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Yeah. I have a YouTube channel, a new one. I'm trying to make videos for it. It's called Eminent Reflection. That's one of the things I got it. What's that?
What's the YouTube channel called?
It's called Eminent Reflection.
Eminent Reflection.
Yeah.
With an A or
With an E.
Okay.
Eminent.
Thank you.
Eminent Reflection. Yeah.
Oh, alright.
No, not Eminem Reflection. That's funny though.
Already not, but
No, it's some good questions, really. Would you mind if I put you on the channel if I decide to do it? You don't mind? Okay. I mean, I don't know if I will or if I won't, but you know.
someone watching documentaries in the future and all of you are like, okay, let's be
I wasn't even going to have the camera on yet, and he was telling me, you know, I should have it on all the time. So I'm like, okay, I'll turn it on now.
documentaries, right? You're like, no.
I'm not used to it, you know. I'm trying to get better at it. I want to get better at making better videos. My computer's not really up to the whole editing videos thing. It's, you know.
We're just worrying about where it is that we can go support you.
Well, see that guy over there?
Oh.
His name's Justin. We didn't come out here together. He came out here today with his sign. I came out with my sign. I had a different sign out earlier. It said Medicare for all, and on the other side it said August 2nd, Day of Action. So that's having to do with Medicare for all action, big Medicare for all action that the California nurses are planning. So, you know, you don't have to wait until there's a crowd. You can make your own sign, come out anywhere you want. If you want to,
We don't need the crowd at this.
and if you want to stop by over here, you're welcome to do so. Like I said, August 22nd, we'll be doing Medicare for all. Huh? Eminent, E-M-I-N-E-N-T. Eminent Reflection. R-E-F-L-E-C-T-I-O-N. I know. I picked a long name with long words.
For us hipsters, let's go ahead and do a little word, a little abbreviation.
Yeah, people that are used to spelling things with the letter U and the number 4, huh? Take care. Hi again. I didn't have the camera on when I came out. One of the guys at the door, he was talking to me. He says, you know, he asked something about the camera, and I told him, yeah. He says, does it work? And I said, yeah, it works, but it's not on right now. He says, well, what you got it for if it's not on? He says, you should have it on all the time. I said, well, I'll turn it on now then. so it's running now, but yeah. And then somebody in the car right next to us there asked about, you know, what are my signs, or what's my banner say? That she says, well, I've got more than one. So I said, which one?
Those are the other ones?
These are other ones. Yeah, I only brought a small subset of them this time because, like I said, it's difficult holding that many. And of course, these are smaller too. These aren't the big ones.
Yeah.
But these all say UBI on one side, the Universal Basic Income.
That's what I believe in. Like,
Yeah.
I was to be honest with you, I was for Andrew Yang just because I believe that.
Just because of UBI, I know.
Not because of UBI,
Well,
but because number one, I think that we can do it. Number two, I think that he has the right idea about what the next industrial revolution will be.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
He
the
had a
fact
lot
that,
right on that.
Yeah. Augmentation is going to kill jobs.
He's
And
right
so-
about that also.
and so
yeah,
this
Andrew
is a
Yang.
way to-
Andrew Yang. I don't think his UBI plan was really all that well thought out, but at least he was supporting it, and he did get a lot of stuff right.
I think it was really well thought out because, I mean, once those
Well, it's more
automation
thought out than any other UBI plan we got
There
anybody
aren't any other
proposing right
UBI
now.
plans.
Exactly.
So once automation really starts taking hold, like once we get automatic cars and truck drivers can be replaced in
Yeah.
order to do long haul driving with no stop.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why we really should have a universal basic income, because we're going to eventually have to come to the realization that that humans shouldn't have to be required to work for other humans. We got machines for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, once the technology gets to the point where the machines can really overtake it and do it,
You know,
Then-
I mean, it never should have been a requirement in the first place. I mean, what other species on the planet has that requirement? You know, I mean, I suppose if you go with bees, you know, or something like that, okay, you got your queen bee, but you know what? The queen bee is at the mercy of the rest of the bees, too. And knows it good and well.
yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I had somebody out here recently. You know, he was just irate with the whole system. I got him on one of my videos, and you know, he's right. You know, I mean, basically speaking, you know, he was saying that, you know, this country was basically built on blood.
Yeah. That's,
You know-
that's actually one of the reasons I'm out here today, because I've been doing like research in my family history, and I came across actually yesterday some documents showing like the furthest back I could go as far as my ancestors. I went to 1795 she was born, and the document was from 1906 showing that she was sold and showing how much she was sold for and everything. And then I found another one.
So the
after-
document you found wasn't her birth certificate. It was
No,
one.
no,
It was a document of sale
Of a human
that
being.
that mentioned her birth.
Yeah, it didn't even mention her birth.
Oh, okay. That
No,
wasn't
it
where you
was
found
a-
out about the birth from.
No, the birth was on, because even though she was a slave, like I still found census records where you
Okay.
can see that they went to the plantation and went around to every house on the plantation, finding out how many people were there, and then saying how old they were, like if they were going to school, if they can read, if they can write, all of that type of stuff. So
Okay.
the age came from a different document, and it didn't have exact age. It was like about or around this time, and yeah, the document, it was just like basically a contract of sale, a bill of sale, basically.
Huh.
Yeah,
You know,
and then
I
other-
don't know. I don't know whether to think of it as a humorous thought or as a sad thought.
Sad,
I guess
that's
a
what
little
I
of
think.
each. No,
Yeah.
the thought that was going through my head is I'm picturing this census worker going. Is that a whole person or is that 3/5 of a person?
Well, and the shit that pissed me off was like when they get to a point, they ask them their occupation and stuff. And so it said, like, I found some others too for some other members of my family, and they say things like field worker or farm worker.
So it didn't
laborer.
actually say slave
No.
or property.
No,
They listed them as employees.
exactly.
I wonder if they wrote that off on their taxes.
And then even
I wouldn't be
after that-
surprised.
Even after that, one generation after her, I found another document talking about another one of my ancestors, but this one listed him in their inventory. Basically, it was an inventory list, and it had all the slaves.
Okay.
It had their age and how much they were valued at. And so he was age 11, and he was worth $650, which is
So
Kinda crazy to me.
inventory with a price tag.
yeah.
But yeah, I can't help wondering when you talk about them listing them as if they're employees. I can't help wondering if did they write off the room and
Yeah,
board
like-
expense as
Like
as an
this-
income tax write off?
This is the one that lists them as a slave. It's Samuel James Somerville, 1858. This is inventory, and that's my ancestor right there, Solomon, 650. And then it lists the total value of all the slaves on this page and everything, like $43,450. That's a lot of money. And then this is the like contract. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's very crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and of course, you know, history. Yeah, I mean, okay, we get a little bit of it out of the history books, but for the most part, it's for lack of a better term, whitewashed.
Yeah, 100%. Like nowhere close to covered in the manner or description that it should be. And yeah,
I mean, I don't mean that as a race reference,
No.
but it you know, but it still works as one, don't it?
Yeah. No, I mean, of course they're going to present the picture that they want to picture or present, especially in, like, I'm from Virginia.
Yeah.
And so the history
Yeah.
books really paint it in a rosy picture and not as like the travesty or, you know, the bad thing that it was. So,
Yeah, you know, who's going to write that side of the story?
Exactly.
And you know, and these days, I mean, sure, somebody could go back and write it these days, but it's, you know, it would end up being a footnote.
Yeah. I mean, it already kind of is a footnote.
I mean, yeah,
Like, we don't really
that's what I mean.
discuss it, we
I
don't
mean,
really talk
it would
about
just
it.
stay that way.
Yeah.
Most likely. Now, who knows? Maybe someday somebody will write a book on that, and it will, you know, sell like crazy, and then everybody will know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's a book that probably should be written and should end up being a #1 bestseller, but who knows?
Yep.
Heck, if you got it in you to do some writing, maybe you should consider it. I mean, you've already done part of the research, right?
Yeah, but that's just for my particular family, you know.
Yeah,
so,
but that's all right. You know, it's a real story.
yeah.
You know, it's a real story
And I
about
could
real
write
humans
about my
and
journey going through and finding
Yeah.
all this information and that type of stuff too. So
you know, that's a step in that direction of,
Yeah.
you know, getting it out there, getting it to be open public knowledge.
yeah. All right, man, take it easy. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a shame. I mean, history is my worst subject, and that's the main reason, is because it's not trustworthy.
Yeah.
It is a shame so much has been buried. I mean,
they always say the victors write the story, and even though the North won, the story's still not complete, you know, and that's because they don't really want it to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand that's a dark time in American history, and a lot of people are ashamed of it, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't explore it and learn from our mistakes, you know?
yeah. Well, I hate to put it so bluntly, but you know, the slaves didn't really win. They just stopped losing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you know, if they had been the winners,
losing as bad.
they stopped losing as badly. Yeah.
They're still losing afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's been ground gained since then, but it's been hard-earned ground gained, and they should have, you know, at the very least.
Appreciate it, man.
They should have at the very least got an apology and got reparations then and there.
Yeah.
And I know some small amount of that was promised, but it wasn't delivered.
No.
And does it make any sense to deliver it now?
Yeah.
I mean, those people are dead.
And I didn't find out that one of my friends, he's actually doing a thing on reparations. He has like a YouTube channel that he posts stuff on. They have discussions about it. But he enlightened me and told me that actually during the Civil War, some slaves did get their land because the military had the power to seize the land from the traders from the South, and so they would seize the land.
So there was a
to the
little bit of
slaves.
reparations
But
actually
then,
went on.
right after all that was over, the president at the time kind of stopped them from doing that, and then all of the white owners came back and basically took it all back. So, I mean,
Yeah, and there was that.
exactly. Same way everything else back then kind of happened.
Yeah, it is sad that it really comes down to, you know, what can the rich get away with.
So, yeah. And they're still getting away with it by not giving us UBI or universal health care or all these other things that
that's the whole
fair.
thing. That's the whole thing right there. You know, we at this point, there's no way that we can really make things right for the way things were.
Yeah.
But with a universal basic income, we can give the people the chance to make it right on our own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, take for example, you know, the other day I ran into someone. I was out on a protest march, and this guy, you know, it's mostly, you know, I mean, it's one of these protest marches with a bunch of stuff, but it was mostly Black Lives Matter, and this guy, I haven't decided if I'm gonna, you know, make a YouTube video out of it or not. I did get him on camera. He said it'd be okay to, but you know, he was kind of upset because, you know, his Uber was like on its way there and couldn't make it because the protest march was in the way and ended up getting canceled. And you know, he was telling me, you know, that people that are supporting Black Lives Matter, they you know, some of them have basically gone racist on him, and, you know, told him, you know, it's all his ancestors' fault that they got, you know, that their ancestors got enslaved, and that, you know, all these things are wrong because of it. And he's like, what did my ancestors have to do with it? My ancestors were Jewish. They came over here as oppressed people, you know, trying to survive what was going on in, you know, World War II and or something like that, you know. But see, there's a side of it that most people don't even look at, that everybody has been hurt by it. Even the slave owners.
Yeah.
Even their descendants indirectly have been hurt by this. Our whole world is a worse place because of it.
Yeah.
And what we need is a better world. That's how we can make it right.
Yeah.
Make the world better. Give everybody a fair chance.
Yeah, and I think some people are like actively trying to like do stuff like this document that I have with the ledger. I think there's a guy my mom has been in contact with. One of my cousins actually has been in contact with him, but he actually is a descendant of the guy who owned my family. And so he will email and communicate with my mom's cousin, or my second or third cousin, I don't know which it'd be for me, and give him information. And that's how I was able to know that this document was actually like legit and that was my ancestor, because he was saying, like, before, I guess this was 2 years ago, my mom sent me this email from the guy, and the guy was telling how they came over here, and then like the names that he mentioned in his email like were the names that came up on this document when I found it, and the history and all that type of stuff. So I'm thinking probably like he posted it on Ancestry, probably with other documents that came from the same place. I don't know. I should actually try to reach out to him or see if that's who posted it, or find out. I'm sure I can find out. But there are some people out there who are like, you know, actively trying to do stuff, which is very cool of him. He didn't have to like reply or do anything. He could have just ignored it altogether.